Good morning, South Africa, and welcome to State of the Nation, where we take an honest and unfiltered look at the actual state of this country. If you enjoy the conversation, please support this channel by liking and subscribing, and join in the conversation by leaving a comment. We want to build a community for all South Africans that transcends race and gender, and adds positively to the national dialogue. 10 years ago, to the day, millions of South Africans woke up to the news that Olympic sprinter Oscar Pistorius had fatally shot his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp, the previous evening. As South Africans, we have become desensitized to news of murder. How can we not when the latest stats indicate that there are now 70 murders a day? All that death and violence is too much to process, so we put it out of our minds. It is cases like Reeva's and the recent death of AKA that wake us from our slumber and temporarily stir outrage at what is happening in this country. Before we retreat to the safety of our ignorance and put the nameless victims out of our minds. And day after day, the carnage continues. What happened that Valentine's Day a decade ago was tragic beyond words. It ended one person's life and destroyed countless other lives. So there will again be a lot of public outrage as Oscar Pistorius becomes eligible for parole next month. After serving half his sentence and completing the victim-offender dialogue with Reeva's family, his fate now rests with the parole board. The Steenkamp family has said that the law must now take its course, and I hope that is what will happen. The chances of Oscar reoffending are minimal, so the law must be applied to him without prejudice. The public outrage that will follow if Oscar is granted parole will be misplaced. Yes, 7 years in prison does not pay for a life, but no amount of time ever could. If we are to be a law-abiding nation, then even laws that grant second chances to deserving offenders must be honored. We need to learn that justice and vengeance are not the same things. Instead, we should direct our outrage at the killers who never face justice, the ones walking the streets and taking lives. The nation's anger at Reeva's death was justified. She should not have died, and we should be angry that she did. As we reflect on that case, we should also realize that there have been more than 200,000 murders in the country since her death. Most of those murders will never be solved, and the killers will never be brought to justice. Every day a young woman is murdered by her boyfriend, a farmer is brutally killed, a child walking to the shop falls prey to a monster, and South Africa remains silent. The only way we end the bloodshed in this nation is to view every victim as a Reeva, to be collectively outraged by every act of violence, and to demand justice for every nameless victim. If you want to know more about what is happening in the world, check out our sponsor's book, The Ministry of Truth, by Ethan Quinn. This book explains how identity politics is used to manipulate society. Please support this channel by liking and subscribing.